Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Hello and welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Cirrus over there.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not? Okay,
No,
well, I mean,
really.
if you're not here, I'm going to do another half hour on why there's more polyamory in Bluey.
Oh, okay, cool. That works for me.
Which actually, so I tweeted this out with no context, and I'm leaving the tweet that way. But for those of you who see my tweets and watch the show, I tweeted out a thing about how the one where the clip where Bluey's dad walks up to his neighbor and is like, "Hi, Wendy, I like to spank my own bum as hard as I can," followed by him doing that while going,
God.
That is one of the episodes of Bluey that will make the parents cry. And I did not know that at the time because I had not seen the whole episode. I had just seen that clip. Yes, hi, dog. You're not getting anything. So then I finally actually watched the episode with a kid. And immediately after that moment, him and Bluey walk past, they see a bird that had been attacked by a cat. They took it to the vet, and then they waited, and it was all tense and everything. Like, is the bird going to be okay? And the fucking bird died. And the rest of the episode was dealing with the emotional, impact of this cute animal that I just found died, and how Bluey felt about that, and how Bluey processed that, and reenacted the entire day with her younger sister. And it was just like, oh, why you gotta make the one with the butt smacks hit so hard? And
then Ben Shapiro goes and makes his own version of the show like an idiot.
yeah, no, it's not good. I've seen enough of it to know that I don't want to see any more of it.
Don't you love when shows do that? They give you an easy exit.
Yeah. Fennec says, "Vice Rhino, I'm taking that red string away from you. I swear to God." Or I swear to all that's damned. So
there we go.
They weren't happy with my 25 minutes of Bluey material. Neither was my partner, but there was nobody here to stop me, so.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a lot to cover tonight, so I'm going to kind of jump right in. There's I feel like this is becoming a regular portion of the show, the stories that we're not covering portion of the show. So, yeah, the Fannie Willis relationship with the special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. Have you been hearing about that?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so she, Trump's defense, submitted a motion basically saying that they have an inappropriate relationship that has compromised her, whatever, blah, 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 who cares?
Of course.
And there was a hearing about that. And what you'll be hearing from the right is that Fannie Willis hired... What you'll be hearing from the right is that Fannie Willis hired Nathan Wade specifically so that she could pay him this massive paycheck, and then he would take her on luxury vacations and shit. Because we all know that it's people on the right that are so concerned about corruption when it comes to luxury vacations.
I was about to say, what is it with the right wing of politics and just constant luxury vacations?
Well, no, because Fannie Willis would be on the left in this scenario, and she's the one taking these luxury vacations with Nathan Wade. Yeah, so that's basically what to say. But this whole thing stems from one person who worked in Fannie Willis's office several years ago and was fired and holds a grudge for being fired. Said that she saw them kiss before he was hired as a special prosecutor. So that would imply that there is a relationship and that she hired him as a special prosecutor specifically for the benefits that she was going to be getting from her boyfriend being special prosecutor. Now, aside from the fact that it's just an unsubstantiated allegation from someone who has motive for wanting to see her crash and burn.
Yeah.
When one of the things that came up in the hearing was that was Nathan Wade's actual finances, and he was making significantly more money before he was appointed special prosecutor. He took a pay cut for that job, a significant one. His income went from $14,000 a month down to $9,000 a month which 9,000 months still a shit ton of money, but it's
like a 40% cut in your pay.
Yeah. So like he took a 40% pay cut. So like ain't nobody going to look at those numbers and be like, oh yeah, no, you gave him this job for the money. It's like, no, he lost money.
I can understand the position a little bit, because that is one of the things that the right wing has tried to argue, that is a reason why Trump isn't corrupt, because apparently his net worth went down after being president, and so he was taking a pay cut becoming president. But I just feel like the situations are substantially different.
Yeah, and like I'm not going to say, like, they probably should not have started a relationship. Like that just, even just the appearance of impropriety should have been avoided in this case. Like I'm not going to try and say that they did no wrong in this, but like the right wing is blowing it way out of proportion. And yeah, it's kind of a shitty situation, but
it is
probably, like, from what I've been hearing from legal analysis from other lawyers, is that the judge will probably not remove Fani Willis over this, because like even if he did pay for the vacations they went on and she did not reimburse him, it's such a nothing burger that it probably doesn't matter anyway. Because like I guess part of the Georgia statute that would have been violated is that they have to, like, in order for it to be a conflict of interest, she would have to have an interest in not just who is the special prosecutor, but also the outcome of the trial. But he's billing these hours whether Trump wins or loses. It doesn't matter. So she has.
So there's no special interest there.
Yeah, there's no interest in the outcome of the trial. Should she have avoided the relationship? Probably.
Does it change anything? Not really.
No. Rosina Keller sends $5, says Clarence Thomas waves hello from his luxury vacation. Yeah. It's like, if you're going to worry about people taking vacations that are like clearly a conflict of interest, look at him. That's another story we're not going to be covering, the offer from John Oliver. Have you seen that? Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't.
John Oliver had a whole segment where they're like, you know what, Clarence Thomas, you've been fucking things up for long enough. We are going to give you this luxury RV that's worth $2 million, and we are going to pay you $1 million a year for the rest of your life if you resign from the Supreme Court. And the final cherry on top was the like, oh, and you know, what about all your friends who are paying for these luxury vacations for you? Well, that's the beauty of it, because like, if they actually love you for who you are, they won't care about what your job is. They'll still take you on those vacations.
Right?
So, yeah, that's another one we will not be covering. That was sent to me by someone, I forget who, because I decided not to cover it. So, but yeah, that was a fun one.
That's very much in line with the whole, you know, they care about who you are when you're in a position of power, but the minute you're not.
Oh, that was Jassa. Says, wow, I send you a story and you're like, we're not going to cover it.
He just tells it to your face.
I mean, I covered it in my stories we're not going to cover segment, which I guess I've decided is a new segment now.
It is apparently, look, Jassa, if it makes you feel any better, I am just as new to the stories we're not going to cover segment as you are.
No, you were here for like one of them.
Yeah, but Jassa was here too for that.
Okay, that's fair. Jassa's always here.
I'm assuming Jassa lives here.
So I get a little bit mad at my sponsor, Ground News, because like it's fairly regular for a sponsor to send you links to like, these are some previous creators that we sponsored. 2 out of 3 of the links that Ground News sends out are Paul Joseph Watson videos. I'm like, I don't want to be, no. Like, I like the thing that you do is a thing that I like, and I like it, and you're my oldest sponsor. Like, they sponsored me before they did any big YouTubers. I was one of their first YouTube-y things, and they were my first sponsor. So like, I have a special place in my heart for them, but at the same time, it's like, oh, why Paul Joseph Watson?
Look, sometimes the only thing that we can truly know will sell is a bag of horse shit.
Yeah.
And Paul is certainly up there in terms of bag of horse shits that people can make money off of.
Yeah. Huh.
What's up?
Someone in my chat just diagnosed me with a hair pulling condition. Trichotillomania.
It fits though. Think about it. Stuff you're covering is certainly hair pulling.
Yeah. I think she's probably referring to how I pull on my beard. No, my partner would shoot back at that with no. That's stimming. Because apparently I stim.
Look, this is the Rhino is autistic arc.
That was Rosina Keller. Fennec says you do stim, but stimming is okay and healthy. Yeah, I didn't say it's not okay and healthy. I'm just like, no, I don't stim. That was one of the things that when I did the autism test on my own, I was just like, no, I don't really stim.
And then everybody else starts pointing out your stims.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my partner laughed at me when I told her that I put that in. Like, full-on guffaw style laugh. And Jupe the Malignant says, Cirrus, I love your theme and it just makes me want to dance. Hi, Rhino, to Viva Ontology.
Well, thank you very much, Jupe. I appreciate it.
I don't know what to Viva Ontology means. I'm familiar with the word ontology, but not in that context.
Now, they'll be able to explain it, I'm sure. Or even funnier if they can't explain it.
Or even funnier, they explain it perfectly fine, but I miss the explanation because I'm not reading everything in the chat. Because last week, I want to say it was Fennec. My partner and I said something, and Fennec was like, "Oh, wait, I'm going to look up a thing." And
then I got lost in the weeds.
I don't know what the outcome of that was. I do not know whether that thing ever even was found. So, like, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, and there's my partner spamming the chat with some hearts to say, yeah, sorry, Fennec. It was a YouTube short about the meaning of liberty.
We're sorry.
Did you find it and I missed it? Apparently, Fennec did actually find the thing. Send it again, since Heidi's in the chat. She can maybe, like, actually bookmark it for us to watch later. She just rolled her eyes at me because I think she's supposed to be doing schoolwork right now.
I'm not supposed to be doing your job with you. I'm trying to do school.
It's not my fault she popped into the chat.
Technically, it is. You provided entertainment, and she decided to be a part of it.
Yeah.
If you hadn't provided the entertainment, then, you know.
I forced her hand.
You did.
Oh, that's another news story that we're not really covering. We kind of covered it a while ago, but the thing at the border in Texas, and how the GOP like had a bill ready to go. It had already passed the Senate, and Joe Biden said he was willing to sign it into law. That would have solved all the problems that they say are there. And then Trump was like, no, if you solve those problems now, I won't be able to campaign on it, so don't do it.
And is one of the...
It's like that. This is
democracy is good, but there's this fucking problem.
So I don't know how accurate this is because I haven't actually vetted this claim, but what I have heard is that this is the least productive Congress in American history. They have passed the fewest number of anything. And that's because the Republican Party, they've always kind of been the party of just no, like, hey, we want to do this thing. And then they would say no. Like, oh, we want abortion rights. No. Oh, we want gay people to get married. No. They just say no. We want to fund schools. No. And that's their whole thing. But that has gone to the extreme in the last during this the last decade, let's say. That has hit an extreme where now it's like doesn't matter, like they'll say no to even just the basic shit that any government in the past has been like, well, yeah, we need to pay for roads. And this batch of Republicans is just like, no, that's using government money for stuff. We don't want to use government money for stuff except for paying our paychecks, of course. But like now, like when they're in charge of Congress, like now they are in charge of Congress, but because they are the party that they have no platform of their own anymore, their whole platform is when the Democrats say something, we say no, but they have control of the House. So like, it's your job to do the saying of the things now. You can't just say no to what the other people say when you're the one in charge of the saying things.
Yeah. Also, sidebar, any of my mods who can double up over on YouTube chat, we've got some idiots in there. That's about as far as we'll go there.
Drew Harrison says they weren't always the party of no. They used to just govern badly. Yeah, you remember back in the day when the difference between, and this goes for Canada as well, the difference between conservative and liberal or Republican and Democrat was like, hey, we all agree that the government should function. We just disagree about the specifics of how it should function. Do you remember that?
I remember
the good
that,
old days when,
not
like,
the case anymore. My God, that was the quickest and silliest hate raid I've ever gotten.
You got a hate raid?
Oh, I sent you pictures. There's like
okay.
roughly 500 deleted messages in my my YouTube now.
Christ is king.
It's Christ is king and you're gay and insert slur here, and it's the most uncreative shit. Guys, the rule has always been the same. You're allowed to insult me in my chat. You just do
gotta
need to be
creative about it. Yeah.
You cannot just say stupid shit. You need to do something original.
You have less.
I'll keep
you
you
have
in
less
if you're
than a year
original.
left. What does that mean? Is that a death threat, Cirrus? Is that a death threat, Cirrus?
That sounds like another death threat. God,
oh
I'm
my
so.
God.
God, I collect those like Pokemon cards, you people. Dear God. Also, I'm just going to say this right now as well, just as a quick one. If you're going to say it, just do it. You are all inconvenient and ammo is inexpensive.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But also, like, just spamming the message Christ is king over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. All that really accomplishes is instructing the algorithm that people are really engaging with your content. So maybe we should promote it more.
It helps a ton. So thank every single one of you. And I'm glad that my moderators were able to give you more attention than your parents ever did.
Rosina Keller says, I wish people would stop telling me what I believe. Yeah. Jethro Elfman says, so someone, It was Rosina Keller. Nope. Donald Jeremio. I'm sorry. I've mispronounced that every time you've sent me anything. But thank you for sending me stuff. Said that 2 of my grandkids are alive because of abortifacients, whatever. That word that I can't say, apparently. Jethro Elfman basically said, me too. And now we're having a big old hug party in my chat. My chat is so much more wholesome than yours.
I mean,
everybody's just loving each other.
Mine has a bunch of people who just didn't get enough attention growing up, and their only way they can get it is by harassing people online. I'm not talking about my audience. I'm talking about the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
I hope. I hope there's nobody in my audience that makes that their
so if there
modus operandi.
If there is an issue in your audience that is caused by people not getting enough attention as kids, it's drawing porn of people that they have parasocial relationships with.
Dark Excalibur says, give me your P.O. box, then hit the exclamation mark P.O. box button. Like, that's a thing on Twitch.
My P.O. box is in my description, I think. Maybe. It's number 343, but that's all I remember.
I frequently forget my P.O. box number, so when I go to the post office, I have to go to my Twitch chat, hit exclamation mark P.O. box to remind myself so I can go in and unlock it.
And Fennec is in my chat saying, I mean, Stoff is just Stoff. Which,
look,
that tracks.
We keep on receiving Apologia art now, thanks to Pernia.
Oh, have we gotten more that I haven't seen?
I believe you've seen all of the ones that have been submitted so far.
They were good. I like them. Well, actually, so I'm working on a Mike Winger response right now, and he's very condescending towards atheists, and he he just rubs me the wrong way. And eventually he starts talking about like, oh, the lowest common denominator, like bottom rung atheists, and he's just harping on like, and at one point he's just like, oh, and this guy thinks that he did this in a 5-minute YouTube video. And I'm just like, buddy, what do you think you're doing? Like, yeah, your videos are longer, but that doesn't make you not a YouTuber. Like, you are just doing your own shit on YouTube. You're just a YouTuber. I looked him up. I looked him up to see what his qualifications were. Literally identical to mine. His only qualification is that he is an ordained minister. Same as me. Different denominations, of course. But
I will say this. I have only ever done one response video to Mike Winger to my knowledge, and I did one debate with him. That was enough to satiate my palate for the rest of my life.
I could see that.
I cannot stand the guy.
Fennec says, wait, you're an ordained minister? Yeah, it's just that one where, like, it's the one that you can just sign up and they immediately ordain you, but they are, like, legally allowed to perform weddings and funerals and shit. And it is technically a Christian denomination. It's basically taking advantage of the fact that there's zero oversight, and also, like, you don't really need any qualifications for your job to be lie to people about the afterlife. So, yeah.
You will see your loved ones again soon,
so
probably.
I'm sure if he catches wind of where I got my ordination certificate from, he would point out that, like, oh no, I actually, like, went to school to learn about the theology of my particular denomination to get my thing. It's like, okay, whatever. It still means nothing.
I just want to understand. I wanted to be a theologian because I grew up in Pensacola Christian Academy. I wanted to be a missionary. I wanted to do all of that stuff when I was a kid. But as an adult, I look back on it and I go, wait, hold on. Why would I want to make my job just knowing one book really well? And that is it. That is all it is. That sounds like the most boring position possible.
So here's the thing, though. Like, from my perspective, as an atheist, it's a fascinating book. Like, you can get insights into this ancient culture and how they worked and how they related to the other cultures that were around them.
That's
how
not
they
the way they view it.
I know. I'm saying, as an atheist, it's a really fucking interesting book. I could see, like, I can totally understand why, like, Bart Ehrman wants to study this for his life. Like, even though he started with, you know, the same motivations as you, but, like, it's fascinating. And I can understand why it's fascinating. But especially the fundamentalist Christians, they take all of the interesting aspects out of the Bible because it has to say what they want it to say.
Yep. And that's the part that I find the most boring, is I don't... Like, I got past the point of caring what particular Bible verses a Christian would use to defend their faith or their opinion or their bigotry. I got past the point of caring about any of that because I can watch another Christian debate them using different verses from the Bible to tell them why they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is a constant that can happen at any point with that religion, and we know it can, then why should I even care anymore about those particular opinions from those people, as opposed to just telling them, you're wrong, please stop causing life to be bad for LGBTQ people.
Yeah. Rosina Keller says, doesn't Cyrus just want to dedicate his life to the MTG rulebook?
So at least that rulebook is only 298 pages.
And there's probably not as blatant contradictions in there?
If you get into the lore, there's plenty. Oh, there's a lot. But at least there's more lore about magic being written. Like, there's a conceivable point in time where I will die and that lore will continue happening. The only way that more lore happens about the Bible is new Christian denominations popping up to make new shit up.